الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد النبي الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه الطيبين الطاهرين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد. أحبتي في الله, my dear brothers and sisters, the Prophet ﷺ said, من يريد الله به خيرا يفقهه في الدين. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want goodness for his servant, he will grant for him the best of understanding in religion. فمن أعطي الفقه فقد أعطي الخير ومن حرم الفقه فقد حرم الخير. If somebody was gifted with a good understanding, then that's one of the blessings. He should appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised those people الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه أولئك الذين هداهم الله وأولئك هم أولو الألباب. And especially in the time of confusion, whatever even before makes sense now for many people does not make sense. Whatever things is clear, people now dispute about. And our reference is our Sharia. And our deen cover all matters. And that's the beauty of our Sharia. And today, inshallah, we'll give just an introduction about the zakah, and then we'll open the floor for you in this topic or any other topic. The word zakah, how it's beautifully that actually summarizing many things by itself. And mentioned throughout the Quran connected with salah most of the time. Maybe it's only in one position that there are something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala places between the salah and zakah. And most of the time, whenever mention salah, mention zakah. And the word zakah has two major meanings in Arabic. One of the first meaning is purification. And now somebody would say, oh, what's that to do with money? How is that it count as a purification? There are portion in your money that are not yours. When you keep it there without giving that portion to people of that right, without giving that portion to those are deserving it, that will ruin your money. So actually you're purifying your money by taking that right and give it to theirs. And look at that, Allah said zakah, not tathir. So there's a tahara and there's zakah. You might translate both as a purification, correct? So tahara and zakah. But not the same. The Arab, they use the term, said, zakawtu tawbah wa tahartu tawb. Tahara, to remove the impurity. Zakah, to remove the unpleasant, which even a higher level. So if there is a urine or whatever, like impurity or blood, when you remove it and clean it, that you make tahara. But if there is like a mud or like it's just something like wasakh, not najas, it's something there not belong to it. When you clean it, you make actually what? Tazkiyah. Which, as I said, is a deeper level of purification. I hope that will be clear. Can we come close by here? At least there are some people who got it in, The Prophet said, حدث الناس ما رموك بأبصارهم. Talk to people as long as they stare at you. And they look at you. This is that. And there's a hadith that the Prophet was given halaqah and 3 men entered the masjid. And the Prophet told him, how about I tell you about the 3 men? So one of them, what he did, he found a gap and he sat in it. The second one he sat behind. The third one he left. The first one he said, وَأَمَّا الْأَوَّلُ فَأَقْبَلَ فَأَقْبَلَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ. He came forward and Allah in return came forward to him. The second, أحيا استحيا فاستحيا الله منه. He felt shy and Allah felt shy for him. The one second center sat behind. The third one, أعرض فأعرض الله عنه. The third one he left and Allah left him. The third one he rejected and Allah rejected him. That's what Prophet said when he was given the halaqah. So anyway, I don't want to be too strict, but this is the manners of Prophet. The second meaning of zakah, it means increase. So now we know zakah, you are giving, so you're actually decreasing. So how it is possible that named zakah, where zakah, it is increase, like the way with zakah, it means increase. Zakah al-mal nama. You increase. By the actual action, you decrease. This is really important. Matters doesn't go as we think. Look at the result. Now if somebody investing, is he throwing his money anywhere? Or he's investing, so he given in order to return to get more, correct? So zakah, now as a process, you are decreasing. But as a result, you are increasing. So Allah wants you to look at the result of it. You are increased. And you are not only increasing any blessing, because some people say, oh yeah, same amount, but Allah will bless what you have. Not only that, Allah promised that in return He will give you more. Actually more. وَمَا أَنفَقْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَهُوَ يُخْلِفُهُ. What we have spent, Allah will replace it. Allah will compensate it. And يا ابن آدم أنفق ينفق عليك. When you spend, Allah will spend on you. And Allah will give you even more. And the Prophet swear by Allah. He said, مَا نَقَسَ مَالٌ مِّن صَدَقَةٍ. There is no money was diminished or was decreased by giving. So actually, you are increasing. You're increasing your record of hasanat. You are increasing the blessing in there. And actually, you are increasing. Allah will give you even more and more. Subhanallah. And people can testify that. Many of them, they have many stories. They will tell you, yes, we have seen that in front of our eyes. Now, understanding the rule of zakah, it's really important. That gives you the prime meaning of about Sharia, how the Sharia take care of all of those aspects. It's make it clear for you to understand how the systems that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give it to humanity. And you get the reward of understanding that. So you improve yourself and understanding, and you get the reward for that. It's not only just because of you have to give, zakah and you fulfill your obligation. There's somebody who might say, why even I need to understand the rules of zakah? I don't work, I don't have money, I'm poor, I'm broke. What is the point? Understanding the rules of Sharia and تعلم العلم الشرعي, to learn about Sharia, this is an act of worship. And this is one of the great acts of worship. It's not just a means of fulfilling your duties. And also it's a means of helping others and means of helping yourself understand the mechanism of Sharia and philosophy behind and how it does work. And at the same time, that might clear many of misconceptions when it comes to your mind. There are many systems here and there, but no system like the system of Sharia. The Sharia is beautiful. And when Muslims really apply the zakah and they fulfill that obligation, humanity benefit from that. If I share with you some of the fact, they might say, oh, this is exaggeration. How that's possible? Where in one point of Islamic history, as mentioned even in time of Sayyidina Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, they're looking for people who would accept the zakah. There are money sitting there, and they couldn't find people to give them the zakah, just with 2.5%. So when they came complain, they said, we have a money there, and we have to distribute it. Now you might say, oh, I wish if I'd be there at the time. Because Sayyidina Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, he said, look for any person, even he want to get married and he couldn't afford, give him from the zakah. Can you imagine? They said, we did. So all the looking for marriage, they came back, said, okay, look for those, they need assistance, like a blind person, disabled person, to assign somebody to serve him. Can you imagine? Not finding a dog and trained dog for a person. No. Subhanallah, astaghfirullah. A person that he will be in the service of that, disabled. And he will get his salary from the zakah, his money from the zakah. They are having money there, sitting there from the system of zakah, and they couldn't find people to receive it. And they fulfilled many obligations with 2.5%. We're not talking about 25%. We're not talking about 40% as now the tax system. And there are differences between the tax system and zakah system. Not only about the percentage, about the purposes, about the distribution, and about the important fact. The tax are applied on your income. Zakah is applied on your saving. And that's a completely different system. So in the zakah system, even if you have high income, but you utilize that money for yourself and your family, and at the end of the day, you have no saving, no zakah. That's not here in this system. You might say, oh, how have a high income and he utilizes? Yeah, I know one person, his number in his family, in his sibling, 45. Forget about those comes after him. Like, what's your, I'm the fifth in my family. And what's your second? Third. That person is 45 in his family, his sibling. And I know those. So, even his father is rich. What are those people going to eat? Yes? Like 50 open mouth. You're going to have to feed them. So, zakah is not applied on your income. It's applied on your saving. And that a major, difference in that. Which in other words, we told the person that you are rich. Why is it? Because there's a certain amount of your money that you never utilize, you never touch. That's there. And now you save it for 1 month, you save it for a year. Okay, now when it comes to the condition. So there's a certain amount. What is the certain amount and what's called? It's called nisab. Bulughu an-nisabi. So the first condition is bulughu an-nisab. I know you are fasting, but usually when the person fasts, is more alert. Yes? Yeah. Al-bitna tudhibu al-fitna. Al-bitna tudhibu al-fitna. When the person is eating, that his concentration will be less. You know that, yes? You know why? Because the one who's responsible for digesting is the brain. He's the one giving the signal and moving and all of this, nerves, to do that. And now the stomach is empty, so the brain is relaxed. Do you remember that when you have a big meal, you're drowsing and you're sleeping? Yeah, because of your brain is exhausted. You're taking care of those food. Okay? So now today I'm guessing you are smart and you're alert. So I'm gonna test you after. So what is the first condition? بلوغ النصاب. بلوغ النصاب. So you have the minimum amount of nisab, which is equivalent to 85 grams of gold. So that's we called it nisab. It's equivalent to 85 grams of gold. You can say maybe 84, whatever. Like just to round up, it's 85. In which gold? Normally it's the pure gold. That's how they count it. But now, what is the common being used? The 21 carat. Yeah, that's common. Here maybe the common here it's 14, but generally speaking 21. And that's now commonly who's having the pure gold. It's not much. So this is nowadays the movement, for most of the Shia. Nowadays they are raising the point that we should count it with silver, which there's a nisab. You can count it based on gold or based on silver. Now, if you count it based on gold, it will be about 16,000 Canadian dollar. That's called nisab, more or less, because it's fractional. Could be up, it could be a little bit less. Usually, you take the minimum amount to be in the safe side, and in the same time to benefit those who are poor. So let's say the calculation said to you 16 or 17, you count 16,000 to be in the safe side. But if you count it according to the fidda, the silver, will be less than 3,000. To be honest, counting its fidda 500 years ago, in the 5th century, at the time of Sahaba, Tabi'een, even up to time of Ibn Hajar, it's fine. You know why? Because whether you count it with gold or fidda, the end result are the same. It comes almost the same nisab, same amount. But now we have seen the difference, major difference between the fidda and silver. Maybe when our time will come, the fidda price will go. Now actually it's picking up. The fidda, now yes, in many places it's worth it. So that's not the case nowadays. That's one thing. Second, المعروف عرفا كالمشروط شرطا. What is commonly used for many years, for many centuries lately, is count based on gold. So why you go back to fidda? Third, the Prophet said when he sent the Sahaba to Yemen, Mu'ad and Ali and others, and he made it clear, خذ من أغنيائهم زكاة أموالهم ترد على فقرائهم. Take the zakah from the rich people, that return it to those who are poor. Now my question is, the one he owned around 3,000 or less, 2,500 or 3,000, around that time. Even he had it for saving for the whole year. Is that count as rich person? Is ghani? No. Tell me, you count as a rich? No. He might put some money aside, 3,000. He has that only he's saving. Is he rich? No. So this defeat the purpose. And that's against the logic behind it. Zakah for those who are rich. We're not talking about zakatul fitr. That's for every person. Zakatul mal. So those that are calling to count it with fidda, they are actually maybe having good intention, but at the same time, it might contradict with the purpose of zakah, generally speaking. So we have to understand, that. Yeah, feel free, brother, to sit in a chair if you want. Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. If you want to sit in a chair, please feel free. Yeah. So we should calculate with gold. Maybe in some areas the fidda is okay, or got prices. That's a maybe different story. But here I'm talking about this society. This society is counted in gold. That's where you say yes. The person that has the 16,000, that's he's kind of rich. If that he kept it in saving for a year, but if somebody has 3,000, might actually he's in need. He need not the way around. So first, it's bulughu an-nisab. Any question about this? The second condition, hulul al-hawl. Hulul al-hawl. So we have in Arabic, sana, am, hawl. We have terms. It's all are the same. In terms of the length. Am, sana, hawl, it's all the same. والوالدات يرضعن أولادهن حولين كاملين. 2 years. Yes? So hawl, it's a year. Regardless. But different terms, different use. It's a beautiful use. Why do you use hawl, not the sana, not am? But it's Arabic discussion. We can talk about it later. And if you want me to talk about more, after finished, I can talk to you. But here, hulul al-hawl, which has to be a complete year. A complete year what? Lunar year. Yes, but has to be lunar year. Which not with the solar system counting. Well, with the lunar system counting. Which is 11 days less in comparison with the other one. If you wanna calculate it with the other year, you can. But you have to make the adjustment about the percentage. So the percentage now not 2.5%. Yeah? So now there's different percentage. It will be 2.57. So it's not just 2.5 around. There's a adjustment, you can. Why that adjustment? Because if in every maybe 30 years of zakah, if you're counting with the solar one, you're missing 1 year of zakah. If you're counting only with the solar system, so every 30 years, you are going to miss 1 year of zakah. And that's something major. So you should count it either with the lower and keep the percentage to 0.5%, or you can count it with the other year, but adjust the percentage. Okay. So when I say hulul al-hawl, when the year is finished, holding that amount. So the amount in your ownership, the minimum amount, which is nisab, you have it in your ownership for a year. In any moment, utilize it for your good use. Went down, you will start counting again from accumulating the amount again. So let's say somebody hold it for 10 months and somehow use that money to buy something that of your needs and use. You have not done that to skip from zakah, to run away from zakah, to escape from zakah, or to run away from zakah. That will be different. يُعَامَلُ الْمَرْءُ بِنَقِيدِ مَقْصُودِهِ. If you're doing that on purpose to run away from zakah and not pay zakah, they will tell you, no, you have to pay zakah. Because somebody say, I hold it for 11 months, and then last month he will do something, and his intention not to use for his use, but just not to fulfill the obligation of zakah. We tell that person, even who have not finished a year, pay zakah. Okay? But I'm talking about somebody innocent and use it for for his use. Even after 11 months and he uses it, there's no zakah. It had to be minimum of a year having that amount. And any moment it goes down below that amount, then that condition not fulfilled, then you will start counting again when you accumulate that amount again. Okay? So now the person, he will fix it every year in Ramadan. First of all, he has to make sure that he has the amount that's throughout the year. Because he might not even obligated to do it. So if he is sure, then it's fine. Second, those people are shifting it to Ramadan in that purpose. I'm not in favor of that. Unless they're close to Ramadan with 1 month or two. But why are you shifting your zakah? As long as people in Ramadan they are need, in Shawwal they are need, in Rajab they are need. So it's good to people have different pay zakah in different times. So people, those are poor, they benefit in different times. However, nothing wrong to bring it and to pay zakah before it's due with a couple months. ما قارب الشيء أعطي حكمه. We have a rule, what's even close to the mar, we'll give it as if it is due, which is fine. There's no problem. His due will be in Shawwal. Said, okay, I wanna pay my zakah in Ramadan because this is a time blessing. My reward might multiply. It's fine, and then he will fix as Ramadan every year. That is the amount at that time of paying zakah, which is fine. But if somebody is due in few months before Ramadan, and he delayed just because of Ramadan paying zakah, we delay all these months, that's not acceptable. Paying it in advance in Ramadan, it's fine. Let's say somebody, the due will be 4 or 5 months. And he paid in advance because of a need, urgent need, and he gave it in Ramadan, it's fine. So you have to differentiate, yes? So if somebody, the due not yet, before Ramadan 5 months, he cannot delay paying it until he went to Ramadan. Paying it in advance in Ramadan, that is fine if there is a need of that. The Prophet gave permission to Al-Abbas to give zakata hawlin fi hawlain. Zakah of 2 years in 1 year. So the current year and one in advance. And what you do in that, you can give it, and at the end of the year, you calculate. If there's a differences, then you have to give that difference. So the first condition, bulugh al-nisab. The second one, hulul al-hawli. Am I clear? I don't want to give more because then you lost, the tracking. So the second one, hulul al-hawl. Hawl, it's a year. And you can count with other year if you counted the differences. Okay? Inshallah. Any question about this? So far so good? Yes. Yes, we go by Hijri. It's by default, it is by default, all our ibadah goes by Hijri. If the iddah, the periods of talaq, the period of wafa, like when Allah would say 4 months or a year, whatever, those always counted with the, you can say Hijri, but I'm saying lunar, the system, yes. So with the Islamic terms, it always goes with that. We don't go with the other ones. As a Christian and Jewish, especially Christian, a switch. So that's actually, they know in the history, they switch to use the solar system, which actually messed up of many of their dates. But for us, this is the way how used and no change. I didn't get it, Rami. Say it again. Yeah, so okay, there are something here. I spoke about bulugh al-nisab and hulul al-hawl. So you don't wait for every penny that's past a year. Do not wait for every penny that's, you know what, oh, this penny came, this dollar came, so I have to count that's a year. No, 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 don't count it this way. وَحَوْلُهُ حَوْلُ أَصْلِهِ. This is the rule. حَوْلُهُ حَوْلُ أَصْلِهِ. The year of that is the year of the original money. So as long as you have the minimum in your ownership and that pass a year, then do not wait for every penny the year. So at the end of the year, you give the zakah for all what you own at that time. So yes, you look at your bank account, you look at saving, you look at the gold, other things, you know, all that you counted, add, yes, your year, and they say, you know what, that's what gonna be. Does that answer you? So do not count what's in and out, it came, doesn't matter. As long as you kept the minimum, do not worry about what's in and out. Just at the end of the year, you pay zakah for all. Even let's say there's a money just arrived a month ago, that even included in zakah. As long as I have the minimum. Yeah, that's what we said. That's what we said exactly. So you, as long as you know, but do not make it obligatory for yourself if it's not obligatory at all. As long as you know you kept the minimum, as long as you know you have the minimum in your ownership. If you have the minimum that you have it there in your ownership, yes, then that's the day I fix, the day was fixed, yes, I pay zakah for it. But you know, not in one point throughout the year that you lost everything. There's no obligation in there. Why I have to make it obligatory in me? I could still give sadaqah, but not zakah. Talk about the zakah. The zakah, you have the first condition, bulugh nisab. And the second, that nisab, which is the minimum, you have it in your ownership for a year. So if you have it in your ownership for a year, then zakah obligatory on you. Now when you come to pay zakah, you're not going to pay only for that amount. You're going to pay for everything that you have. Yes. Is the answer you now? Yes. Yes, you pay for everything. You pay for everything. As long as you had the minimum that stay with you for a year. For 1 year, for the full year. As long as you have the minimum stay with you for a year. Then you pay zakah for all. Yes. Okay. So yeah, let's say in 15 of Ramadan last year, I had in my bank account, as a money, I have 20,000, and that I have it for last year. And when I look at my account, I saw that other money became 25, went down to 19. Then went up to 30, then went down, to 17. I'm still looking at that. I have the 16,000. I still have it. Never went below that. Oh, in this case, now in the 15 of Ramadan this year, I found 25,000 in my account. So I pay zakah in 25,000. Okay? But let's say I look at it, and then when I look at it, in one point, it went down to 10,000. Okay? And then 2 months later, I had 20,000 again. Then I will start the counting from that point when I have the nisab again. Okay? So the second condition was not fulfilled. So there's no obligation on me. Okay. So I have to have bulugh nisab and hulul hawl. There are two more conditions are really important. A lot of people they didn't even mention. You want me to talk about it first, or do you have your question? Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Okay, listen. The zakah, you never fulfill your zakah without the intention. And the intention at the time you're giving the money. So if you gave money as a sadaqah, as a charity, general charity, and then you say, you know what, oh, I wish if I counted as zakah. That's it. You cannot switch your intention. It's gone. You give it. You have to have the intention at the time or close the time before or at the time you're giving it. Then it count as zakah. Now, I know for sure I'm going to pay zakah. From my habit, from my money, or to be even a safe side, I'm going to pay the zakah that year. But instead of one sum I pay at the end of the year, I'm paying it in installment, in advance. Like you when mentioned, I'm sponsoring orphans. So I'm giving them monthly. So I said, you know what? That sponsorship, I'll count it as my zakah. So every month, withdraw from my account that amount in advance. So all what was drawn in that year, that I could all together as counted toward the zakah. There's no issue with that. Somebody helping somebody to pay the differences in rent. So every month I give him 500 to help him for the rent. So that's now 500, then we have 6,000. You paid of your zakah in advance. So now when I come to pay the zakah, the due zakah, I already paid 6,000 out of that. I might not need to pay more. Maybe I need to pay more. I will make the calculation. That will make it even easier for you than one amount that you pay. So you could do that in advance. Is that answer, inshallah? Any other clarification? Good. That's good. Those questions are good because that make it more clear. I move to the third condition. Al-milku tam, the complete ownership. How come? Because there's some money for me, but I didn't have access to it. If they have access to it, there's no obligation. There's a money is coming from inheritance, but was not distributed yet. Do I have to pay zakah for that one? No. They said you have 50,000 gonna be inherited, but Allah knows when it's gonna come. There's a paperwork, there's other things. No, it's not gonna count it for me. There's a money, it's coming in a shipment in the ocean. It might arrive after 2 months. But the ship might sink. May Allah protect it, but it might sink. Maybe if something happened, not get it, I didn't care about that amount because I didn't have access to it. There's a money for retirement that's in my account. Let's say whatever, in America they called it, no, in America, 401. Huh? Yes, K, 401K something. In Canada, you called it RRSP. Yes, yes. So I said just retirement account is there. The money is there. Do I have to pay zakah for that money or not? Do I have an access to it or not? So I looked at terms. So if I have no access at all, I cannot touch it because of those I signed conditions or something, there's no zakah. They might tell you, you have no access for 5 years. There's no zakah for that. They tell you, yeah, you have access. However, if you want to withdraw it, we're going to apply tax on it and penalty, and only a percentage of that money will come to you. So I pay zakah only for that percentage that might come to me. So if there's 100,000, if I would withdraw that money today, I will get 40,000. So I'll pay zakah for 40,000 because that's my money. Then I have an ownership for that. Other one, it's my money, but I didn't have a complete ownership for it because there's a condition on it. Am I clear? Very simple. There are many opinions, but this is actually very clear to the pure of the rules. There are other example. I'll tell you. I give money to somebody as a loan. Who would pay the zakah for that? Is the person that I gave to him? That is not his money. Yeah, he can utilize it now, but it's not his money. Yes? So he's not going to pay zakah for it. Do I have to pay zakah on it? I borrow. I lend or I borrow. So now if I borrow money, I don't have to pay zakah for it. But I lend money. Do I have to pay zakah for it? Yes. Oh, yes. That's yours. That money, see, brother, remind me your name. Jamal. I give you the money, and you are trustworthy. You are better than a bank. Money was saved. It's like an account, yes? A number there. So why am I not paying zakah for it? So why I pay zakah for the number that's in a bank account and I pay zakah for you like the money I gave it to you? It's the same. In a bank account, they are sitting there and no reward. Yes, no reward. And I'm giving you the money, Jamal, and I get the reward. Even better. Yes? Huh? No. What do you mean no access? Okay, that's a coming the point. This is the coming point. It's not about the access. Okay, it's my money, and he never denied. Now, if he said, I cannot pay him back, or sorry, I didn't receive anything from you, that's like a al-mal al-maghsub. I have no access to it, there's no zakah for it. But as long as it's guarantee of the return that's coming to me, I have to pay zakah for it. It's my money, and he's not denying it. And with my condition, I give it to him for a year or for 2 years. That's fine. And by the way, do not make the loan terms long. Make it as needed for many reasons. You know why? For one of the reasons, because if you postpone it and you allow for the person to an extra period, the reward will be double. The reward will be double. Because when you give them loan, you'll be granted as if you donated that money. When you extend it, the period, as if you donated the double. And every single day. See how it's a beautiful giving help to each other and lending money? It's more rewarded than the actual sadaqah. Wallah. We need to think of that. Making a system of loaning and pool, each one contribute to that and start lending people, because that better than sadaqah and helping many people, and the money comes back than even giving a sadaqah. This is a community, we should think of something like this. Let's say 100 people, each one give 1,000, $100,000, that's a loan. We can help 100 people, 1,000 people, because back and forth, the money comes, and the people help, and everybody get, the reward multiplied. Coming back to that. So we differentiate between the loan, because somebody said, okay, do I have to pay the money that I lent somebody? We ask him, هل هذا مضمون الرجوع? Is that guaranteed that will return? He said, yes. I trust the person and he did not did you yet and everything's fine. Then you pay zakah, you count it. And if not, then no zakah. الزكاة حق في المال. The zakah on the right on the money, regardless who own it. Somebody has to pay the zakah. Yes? Somebody has to pay the zakah for that money. Let's say there is a person غير عاقل, he insane, or a child, he's not in the age of bulugh, he never reached puberty. Is zakah on that money or not? Is the money owned by 5 years old? Is any zakah for that money or not? Yes, because zakah, the right on the money, not on the person. I'll tell you what the Prophet said. He said, اتجروا في مال اليتيم كي لا تأكله الزكاة. Invest in the money of the orphan because you don't want that to be eaten by zakah, by consumed or finished by zakah. Because every year you have to give zakah. When he will grow up and became in need of that money when he grow up, there's no money will be left it because he gives zakah every year. That's why you have to invest in it. You get my point? So that's the third condition. What's the third condition? Al-milku tam. Is that solve many problems? Yes. So it's an important condition. What's the fourth one? What's the fourth one? Al-khuluwu min ad-dayni. Al-khuluw min ad-dayn. So you don't have a debt. So always at the end of the year, I deduct from that amount all my debts that I have to pay in that year. All debt, not bills, not surface. Talk about debt. Then I deduct it from there, then there's no zakah for that. So let's say somebody, he has 50,000, but in the same time there are 20,000 that it's a due or at this time or within this period of zakah, then he has to pay zakah only for 30,000, not the 50. Because the 20, that's not his money to be on. That he has to pay. He has to get it, you give it back, you know. And it's already, there is somebody who will pay zakah for it, yes? Yes, generally speaking. Yes, brother. بيعتبر دين بس if you pay attention I said in the year of zakah that's amount not the whole mortgage not the whole amount then yeah that's a different story then nobody will pay yeah just only for the year of zakah that he will deduct it because that's not his has to pay it you know for that which is a due what is a due and whatever like he made a commitment on it so let me give you an example there is somebody he has a money, but he want to have that money for buying a house. The money to get married, you know, and pay for his mahar or whatever. If he has an intention and not made a contract and made an action, doesn't work. That's his money. He has to pay zakah for it. But the moment I sign the contract and I made a commitment, then it's not mine. Even if still in my ownership temporary, because I have to give it away. See? So I sign to give the down payment for a house, for example. Once I sign it, that's not my ownership because I have to sign to pay now in this month or coming month within this time. So this is now, it's already that allocated to something else. But if you still have it without just as intention, it doesn't work. I have to pay zakah for it. Yeah, even if I intended to designate that money for that purposes. Okay? When I say income and saving, the point is not income and saving. The point is how much you have it. It's all your income at the end of the day. It's all your income. But from your income, you saved some money. You know, yeah, it's not like a two different account. From your income, you saved some money. That is the point. When I say saving, do not go with mind like, you know, oh, different account and different things. No, I'm not saying that. You know, we didn't have that saving account or something like this. It's not acceptable. But I'm just saying that from whatever you saved from your income, not from the whole income. That is the zakah. Yes. I don't want to go on and on, like the rules is more, but if you have any question, please go ahead. Many ask, is any zakah for huriyul mar'ah? Like, you have to understand the zakah for al-mal al-qabil lil-ma'. Any money that can be invested. They can be liquid. They can be, you know, it can be used, utilized. But if a money was not for that purpose, for investment, not for liquidity, and cannot, then there's a different story. Now coming, for example, the jewelry of women that used to wear. As long as the intention is that to wear it, even she wear them very regularly, like even once or twice in a year, there's no zakah for that according to the majority of fuqaha, excluding Imam Abu Hanifa. So Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, Imam Ahmad, this is no zakah for that money, regardless the amount of it. The moment that you change intention, I'm making it for saving, that's a different story. Now, let me give you an example and a question, and you want you to answer. Somebody has a land, regardless, that's a farm or land to build a house or whatever, has a land. Is any zakah for that land? The land is used, yeah. We can say it's used, yes. If there's an income, and if there's no income, no zakah, it depends. If it's investment, whatever. So what do you think? Somebody has a property, and what is the zakah? Okay, pay attention to this. There are 4 cases. If that property that generate income, then the zakah only for the income, not for the property itself. Let's say there's a land, there's a house, I'm renting the house, there's a factory, a building, and so there's only the zakah for what generated from that factory, from that farm, from that house. Okay? So that's one thing. Not the actual property itself. The actual property, there's no zakah for it. Even somebody has a factory, he cannot pay zakah for the factory itself, for the shelves, for the machines, only for the product that comes from the factory. So from the income, from that you pay the zakah. If that was accumulated, and that you added to your money, and then you pay zakah for it. With differences, if you have a farm, the fruits do not wait for a year. With the moment that the fruits you harvest, you give the zakah. You know that, yes? Do not wait for the year. So this is the first option. The second option, that the property is set there. It's my ownership and set there. There is no zakah at all for that. I have 30 houses. In every country you go, I have a house. There's no zakah for that. I have not bought that house to run from zakat. That's a different story. I have a house. Somebody live a luxury life. Maybe it's not the best this way. There should not be too much here, extravagant. But is this called zakah? Is it zakah? No zakah. Okay? So I have a property, that's no zakah for that. You live in it or not, there's no zakah. Now, I have a property, but I bought it with the intention for business. But I have not presented for sale. I'm just waiting for the market. When it's a good time, I will sell it. Is any zakah for that? No zakah. Unless, like now, there is no zakah. But I have to give the zakah يوم قبضه. The day when I sell that property, right away I give zakah for it. 1 year. Zakah of 1 year. Let's say I have it for 10 years. I never presented for sale. I kept it there. So I said maybe it's in a good market. I will sell it. So then when I sell that one, I pay zakah right away. That's the third option. The fourth option, I have it that for a business. And I present it every year. And no luck. Nobody bought that land from me. Nobody bought that property from me. I pay zakah every year on that property. As long as it's still in the market. If it's in the market, even was not sold, I have to pay zakah for it every year. That's a fourth. Because now it's a business. It's money in there. Yes? I sold it or not, it's a money is there. Because that's how I look at it. Regardless, what is that property? So there are 4 options. I hope that will be clear. Not the same. Somebody say, oh, Sheikh, I have a land. Isn't it zakah? It's not like an easy answer. It's a four options. Yes. So these one of these four, that could apply on you. I hope that will be clear. How about stocks? That's different story, like, major story, like, talk about it. Um, but again, it could be different ways, yes, because what is type of stocks, and it can be liquid at this time or not, or there's a profit that comes out of it. That's a whole story. Maybe we can talk about it because maybe it takes like 20 minutes at least, to talk about these things. But if somebody has stocks himself, like, we can talk about it, like even one-on-one, because not everybody has it. For what? Yeah, but the stocks, there are some property you cannot even sell. There's a condition sometimes you cannot even sell it, and sometimes not even for sale. You get the point? Maybe I have a share in something that's the product, there is a product out of it. That's why different type of stocks and different things. It's not just one answer. Because you have to look at it, the stocks is similar to which case in reality, you know? Yes. Yes. Yeah, yes. That's correct. It's a money there. It's a money there in the business there. Okay. The students are coming now. They have halaqa. But if you want more for the zakah, we can designate it another time, inshallah, for talking more about it. But I hope that at least lay the foundation for you to understand the whole subject. It is a beautiful system. Wallahi. You see, the zakah, it's coming and bringing the society a lot of goodness. Nowadays we see people how they are living where become more rich, other people more, having actual problem and living in poverty. Here in Canada, can you imagine? If I tell the people, like I said, the percentage of poverty being increased in Canada, people they will never believe in that. Oh, said Canada? Yes. Most of those rich countries, as getting rich, more people get like poor. Why? Because of this. There's no system there of zakah. Because it has to be the zakah given to those poor people in order to help them and to eliminate the differences and make them not hate the society. Now, if those rich, they will give the same poor people in the same society, they will love those poor rich, and they even pray for them. They say, may Allah increase you in richness, because at the return they will get something. Not will envy them and hate them. There is one person into this as a joke. His name Ashab. Whenever he will go to the person that they make suhoon and sawani, they make a plate and paw, he would tell, please make it bigger. He said when those they making suhoon, tanjara, the pot, please make it bigger. They said to him, why? Because maybe one day I will eat in it. More food, more food will be. So those poor people, when they go to see those rich, said, may Allah increase them in wealth and give something them. Why? Because in return they know there are some of that khayr that comes to them, So this is good. But imagine a society, those get rich and don't care about poor. They say, oh, may God curse them, what they did is haram, So zakah system is bringing a lot of goodness in the society. So it's really something great. However, there's something I have to mention. The haqq, the right in your money is not only zakah. There are two haqq. Haqqun ma'loom wa haqqun ghayru ma'loom. The haqqun ma'loom is the zakah. But there's another right that's in your money has to be given in there. May Allah guide us all. اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا واستر عيوبنا وبلغنا في الدار مطلوبنا اللهم اسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة.